Hey everyone, Aesop's here. Today I want to talk to you about Pegaxy breeding. I'm going to go over the basics about breeding, show you the current cost to breed, and be sure to stay to the end for the profitability from breeding Pega. Okay guys, let's get into it. Let's get all the information that you can need in one place right here. Here we go. First thing I want to point out, they have a really sweet looking UI. It's very user friendly and easy to use. Okay, we might get into this a little bit more later, but just wanted to point that out. Right now, this chart for cost, as far as the cryptocurrency, is outdated. So the PGX cost per breed is correct. It is 30 PGX per breed, but the Viz cost has actually been adjusted. So it should start with 4,000, 8,000, 12,000, and then so on and so on. Okay. Right now, really only 3 breed is profitable. So that's just one I wanted to highlight for you guys. As we go on here and we look at some restrictions, normally in Axie, you guys are used to the issues of breeding a parent, child, all those kind of things. But Pega, as you guys can see, these are metal machines. These are not actual horses. Again, you can see this here on the front page. These are clearly metal machines. They're not actual creatures. So there is no rules around breeding with the parents, children, grandchildren, so on. Just something to highlight. It definitely makes things a lot easier when you're breeding, less complicated, unlike an Axie Infinity, which is very nice as a breeder, very user-friendly, easy to get into. So we keep looking down here. Something else to point out is bloodlines. So they have a few different ways of showing rarity. Bloodlines is the first one. So bloodlines, as far as the bloodlines go, Haas is the most rare of these. And then it gets less and less rare. So you have to breed a Haas with a Haas to get another Haas. Whereas if you breed anything with a Zan, as you can see here, whether you breed a Zan, Klin, Capona, or Haas, you get a Zan. So the way it works is that it's going to, and it says that right here, it's going to give you the least rare bloodline as the offspring. So when you make a baby Pega, it's going to give you the least rare. So that's just something to understand. As well, here's something about rarities. So this is a little bit of an interesting conversation. So in Axie, we have mystics, right? Here they have foundings. And then there's legendary, epic, and rare. So the way it works is you have to combine 2 of the higher tier to get the next tier down. So combine 2 foundings to get a legendary, 2 legendaries to get an epic, 2 epics to get a rare, 2 rares to then get a pacer, and then pacers will also make pacers. So there's different rarities here. They're going to have some purpose for this in the future. Right now, there's not too much. There is some utility actually through something like a founding or a legendary, where you could get access, like right now, with the 3D racing beta, you can actually get access early to it if you hold a founding Pega. So just something to consider, where they've actually provided a reason to hold these, which is something that's really cool to see. The big thing that comes in here is these cooldown timers, and this is totally unique and different than Axie Infinity, and something that I really want to take our time digesting here, because it was something that took me a little while to really grasp. So in Axie, you have an egg that hatches after a couple days. Here, what you do is you get a baby Pega that it starts out right off the bat. Now, this baby Pega, and we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. From the time that this baby Pega is born, it's going to take 96 hours, no matter which of these different bloodlines you have. So if it's a Haas or a Zan, it doesn't matter. It's going to be 96 hours, okay? Which means there's 96 hours from the time that it was born before it can be used to breed. Now in Axie, we're kind of used to that general idea, but what's unique here, if we hop up to this top row, is between breeds, there's different timers. So between your first and your second and your third and your fourth, you guys get the idea. So for a Haas, if you wanted to breed 3, first you got to wait 96 hours, then you breed 1, 24 hours, the second, 24 hours, the third, and then you're there. So you actually have these timers in between, which is sweet, because if you look at like a Zan, it's going to take you a very, very long time compared to something like a Haas to breed out, let's say 5 Pega. If you're trying to breed 5 Pega of each, you're going to get 5 Haas a lot faster. What they're trying to do to balance this, and they're trying to do some changes to balance this. Nothing's set in stone, so be noted that. But the idea right now is to adjust it so Haas breeds really fast, but maybe they have this 96-hour cooldown right here. So this is the cooldown where the time from it being born to when you can race. So you have a 96-hour cooldown from the time of being born to breeding, but only 24 hours after it's born, you can start racing it for a Haas, or 48 hours for a Capona, so on and so on. This is something that's really interesting, because instead of like an Axie where you just got to sit on this egg for a couple days, you could actually start using your Pega, assuming it's like a Haas or something like that. You can start using that only 24 hours after it's born and racing with it and renting it out to scholars, and then just wait a couple more days and then you can actually start breeding with it too. It's a very interesting mechanic, and this is something that's important to highlight because something that happened to Axie is they had exponential growth that just blew up like crazy, and then demand crashed and the prices started going down. With this mechanic, you restrict how fast demand can grow, and I'm actually going to show you guys charts of that in a upcoming video. So if you like this kind of value, be sure to subscribe. That way you guys can get notified. Stay tuned for that coming up. But let's keep going here. The next thing that I just want to touch on real quick is there are genders, so you do have to breed a male and a female together. There's only the male and the females. And in theory, it is a 50-50 chance of getting this. So you could, in theory, breed, and this is what happened to me actually, breed 3 Pega and get all males or all females. And then what they do have in the Discord is an exchange. So you can do a peer-to-peer trade, and they have some verified or certified peer-to-peer agents, so intermediaries, but you guys can go check out that information in the official Pega Discord. As we keep moving on here, the next thing I want to show you guys is the marketplace. So let's get into some numbers now about breeding Pega. So let's just say Haas, and I'm going to talk about Haas because that's what I'm personally doing, and I don't want to recommend you guys something I'm not personally doing. So let's look at a Haas. What you're going to want to buy is a 0 breed count. So right here, 0 breed count, and let's find ourselves, let's look at this female first. So when you click on some of these, let's click on some of these to show you guys. So this is that racing timer I was telling you guys about over here, over right here. So remember, Haas has a 24-hour racing timer, 96-hour breeding timer. Right here, you can see this racing timer and then the breeding timers. So these ones, this is what the baby Pega look like. You can see, can't race them, can't breed them. You can't see how it will be looking like when it's adult, which is cool, but you cannot actually utilize them. So as we keep looking through here, this one can race but not breed. So let's try and find one that we can actually use to breed here. A lot of people do like to offload them when they're unable to breed. And then if you actually find one that's able to breed, it's usually quite a bit more expensive. And okay, this one's going to be ready soon, so we'll take this. I was actually just able to find one. You usually have to wait, and it's worth waiting because you guys can see here, you're at 2,700 versus on this first page, you're closer to 2,200, 2,300. So it's worth waiting to make sure that you can get a deal. I was actually able to find mine that I bred originally that way. So I was able to save myself a few $100s. But let's look over here to the males. Let's see if this changed since we started. Keep looking through. That was easy. Okay, right off the bat there, $2,400 for a male that's able to breed right now. Really what you guys can do here is come through, buy some of these Pega, and so you need a male and a female, right? And then let's take, I wrote down those values already, but that's something important to note, as well as what's it going to be worth when you can resell after you breed these. So when you breed them 3 times, let's go 3 times, any gender, fixed price, and low to high. So right now, a Pega pretty much is, you're basically $1,200 for a Pega. So you can get a pretty decent price after you end up breeding them on the market. So let's hop over to the spreadsheet. So on the spreadsheet, again, here are the numbers that I pulled together just before starting this video. So I'm going to use these. You can get a male for 2,300, female for 2,300, and then they've gone up slightly, but let's just say $1,150. Right now, the cost, this is for these different breeds, what the cost is to do these different breeds. So total, if you did a 3 breed little set, you'd be about $7,500. Now, afterwards, these ones that you bred, you bred them 3 times, not 4 times, you bred them 3 times, they'd be worth, again, about $1,150, $1,200. The 0 breeds would be worth about $2,300 once you let them mature, or you could sell them, like I showed you guys, how there were a bunch of these little baby ones on this front page. When we went back over here, you could sell the babies when they have not been bred, and you could sell them for a little bit less, or wait for them to grow up. It's up to you guys. But you sell them about $2,300 if you wait a little bit. That's going to mean that and this will take 7 days, remember. Or let's say you bought a discount right here. You bought these ones a little bit cheaper because prices are going up, and you had timers still on these. That means that you'd be about 7 days total to be able to get in and do this all. So either 2, 3, 7 days, depending on how you guys want to do it. Again, I would recommend getting in and buying them while I still have a timer, save yourself some money. So that's just my personal opinion, but do what you want at the end of the day. As far as profits go with this, you guys can see here that you'd be able to get $1,300, which is about 17.5% for 1 week turnaround, which is pretty solid. And you could keep doing this again on a 7-day cycle, pretty much, with a 17% return or $1,300. So it's pretty sweet being able to turn around and breed these right now. Profits are pretty high. There is some concern that prices will go down because you guys can see here, we go over to like a 30-day or even a 14-day. This price has just gone astronomical. We went from under 5 cents to now over 12 cents. And then you have PGX, which has just been insane as well. You went from 14-day here, you went from about 35 to 40 cents. Now you're all the way up here to about 80 cents. So PGX is doing great. Viz is doing great. Earning potential is great too. We're going to have a video about that. But just for a sneak peek, 300 Viz is a pretty standard earning on a Pega, $37. So we're going to have a video about earnings. We're going to have a video about how long it's going to take for the Pega economy to grow and why it's going to be more sustainable than something like Axie. So again, be sure to subscribe to get access to that content when it comes around. So I'll catch you all in the next one.